All right, what is good, my people? Today, we got a fun session today. We're going to be talking about how to never run out of content ideas. So, shout out to everybody that is inside of the PC, excuse me, the TCP group. I'm telling you about my client group, but shout out to everybody that is in the TCP group, and then also shout out to everybody that is also in our Facebook group. So right now we've been doing a lot of transition to to our school community because that's the that is where we are nurturing and growing our coaches that are looking to take their business to the next level. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. So what are some of the things that we are going to be learning today? So there's a couple things that we're going to be focused on, right? Um, Make sure everybody. All right. So, so how to never run out of content ideas again. What's interesting about this topic is we get since the inception of when I really started working with entrepreneurs, business owners, specifically coaches. One of the biggest challenges that I see is coming up with content consistently. Maybe this might work a little better, right? Coming up with content consistently. So it could be very tough trying to figure out, okay, well, what are the topics, or what should I be talking about, or what do my clients or my audience want to hear? And if you don't have a clear idea on what that is or what that could be, then you'll find it hard to try to get people to consistently listen to you because you're all over the place with content. Like I was just talking to one of our clients, well, somebody who wanted to be a client the other day, and they were just basically putting out any kind of content. I said, well, are you putting out the type of content that your audience want to hear? And he's like, oh, well, I'm putting out a little bit of this and a little bit of life stuff and a little bit about me and a little bit about that. And they were creating content, but they weren't necessarily creating the content that their audience wants to hear, which is what the issue is. So here's what we're going to be covering today. One, we're going to be focused on um, how to reframe content, meaning I'm going to talk to you about the core content you need to create because most people feel like they said everything already, so I have nothing new to post. Another thing we're going to focus on in terms of like content generation. How do you create that? People say, well, I'm not creative enough to put out the content. So what do you do when you don't feel like you're not creative enough to put out content? And then also is how do you create content over the next 30 days, right? I don't have time to brainstorm content every day. So I'm gonna share with you the ways that you can actually use to actually create content that you could be able to post every day. All right. And so I'm gonna go through those are going to be the things that I'm going to share with you today. All right, so let's go into the first one. So you telling yourself, I don't have, I said everything I need to say. So I don't really have any new content that I feel like I'm able to post. All right, so one, I want to crack that false belief for you because you have content that you can post. A lot of times is that um, you've only said it a couple ways because that was actually one of the issues that I used to have. I'm like, oh, I already posted everything. So what else do I have that I can to post? What else could I possibly create to post? And I would say that because I actually just didn't know what I could post. I didn't really know what I felt like my people wanted to hear. So I would just put out and basically post anything. And that's not really how you want to be able to move with this. So here's what you can do. That's number one. Hold on. So you don't have to come up with new content. Here's the breakthrough. Don't come up with new content. All I want you to do is talk about the content that your audience that you're already helping your audience with. Meaning, one of the things as coaches, our job is to make sure that we create the content that's related to what our curriculum is. Does that make sense? So when I work with our coaches, I usually say, listen, I want you to come up with 10 to 12 principles, right? Meaning there's an outcome that people are paying you for. And I want you to come up with what are your 12 rules to success. and then to help them get that outcome, whatever that outcome is. If it's helping people lose weight, what are your 12 secrets to success? If it's helping people start a business, what are your 12 secrets to success? If it's helping people get confident, secrets to success. Public speaking, secrets to success. Whatever it is, right? And you come up with your 12. Our job as coaches is to talk about these topics in a lot of different ways so people could understand it. Because just because you talked about it once don't mean that they heard it and the whole world saw it and everybody understood it the one time you did it. So it's our job to say, okay, let me show people how to do this. So, like, for example, I've taught content creation many times before, right? And I've been doing this. This is my 10th year in this industry. I've taught content creation for many, 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 many years. But things keep changing. You got AI. You got, I grow in my development, how I learn how to do content differently over the years. Ways to do it, how to do. I mean, there's so many different ways. Not just talking about the same exact topic. If I want to teach you how to create content in the next 30 days, might be different than how do I teach you how to do an individual post versus teaching you how to do a post that goes viral. You see what I'm saying? Like there's different like subcategories of content. So don't just think about it as, oh, I taught this one concept and this is the only thing that I can teach them. Like, every you tell me any one of your core concepts, and I'll point to you, 100 different ways you can talk about that one thing. So there's plenty of ideas and things that you can do, but your goal is to say, here is what my core concepts are. And then now you slice and dice it. You talk about it in different ways. When you do that, you have way more content to post that you know how to deal with. All right. So that is the first thing. The second, right? Let's talk about, you're telling yourself, well, I'm not creative enough to come up with the content, right? So this is a I'll put it to you this way. It's not about being the most creative person. It's more about just having a process, a step-by-step process that you use to create content. So like one of our processes is anytime I come across an idea or something that I see is dope or a video or a conversation with somebody, my process is I have my notes app. So I'll put it in my notes app. And then once it's in the notes, then when I have to post something, when I say, okay, I'm ready to put out content, I could literally just scroll back to my notes and then I'll talk about the content or the topic that I say I feel like is important to talk about. So my question for you is, what is your process? There was times where I didn't have a process, where I would just say, okay, well, I need to post, but I would say, well, what do I post? Like I didn't really have a process, and I would be trying to grab things out of the air and figure out how do I how do I create something interesting enough to post, instead of saying, all right, here is my process to constantly have ideas to be able to post. And so there's a lot of different things, right? I mean, you could, I have categories. So I have things that come up that's basically like top of mind. And then I also have like trending topics as well too. So it might be something trending in the world that I want to talk about. So then that's another type of post. Um, so I have these categories of posts. So it's like trending topics. It's like things that are just on my mind, something recent happened or something I saw, a conversation I had with somebody, right? And then I'll say, oh, that'd be a good topic to talk about. My clients know because I'll do this all the time. And then I'll have something that's like, maybe that's like a testimony or something like one of my clients struggle with. So then I'll focus on that. Then that'll be one. But these are all of the different ways. So your job is to say, okay, my process is going to be, I'm going to be talking about, you know, okay, I'm gonna have a testimonial as one. Testimonial. So anytime somebody creates a testimonial, that's a post. Things that are top of mind, trending topics, topics that are related to my niche. And as these things come up, you have stuff to talk about. All right. So it's not about being creative, it's about having a process. Because I don't consider myself the most creative person. I don't. But I think what I do well, although I'm not necessarily a creative person, what I feel like I do well is I have processes and systems for things, so that allows me the ability to come up with the content that I post. And I know, because I have a process and system, I know the content that I put out, like when I go live or I'm putting out clips or reels or whatever, I know that is highly relevant for my audience. And that's the big thing, because that's really what you want. You want your content to be relevant to your audience, because the more that you're helping them, they're like, yo, damn, this person is dope. Wow, I can learn from this person. Wow, I didn't think about that. Wow, you know what? Let me write that down. I like that category idea. I like, let me put the notes in every time I come up with an idea. Let me start that and start that thread inside of my notes, because that means that people are learning from you, right? And when they're learning from you, they continue to make progress. They're being more successful. And then at some point, they may end up with a worker with you, or and maybe sooner, maybe later. Who knows? I mean, I had a lady who she was following me online for 6 years before she actually came in as a client and we started working together. 6 years. Think about that. So, and it's not like I was waiting for 6 years, but the idea behind it is that being consistent, consistently pulling out the content, consistently helping, consistently training. And these are the things that make a big difference when you're looking to help somebody. All right. And by the way, if you kind of liking these concepts, these are some of the topics that we're going to be talking about at the PCS bootcamp. If you're looking at where we at right now, this is actually the location, right, that we're going to be at. So I'm hoping to see everybody there. Same thing for y'all. You know what I mean? I want to see everybody in the building for the boot camp. Yeah, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be a phenomenal situation. So I want to see y'all there. By the way, write this date down. It's Saturday, March 29th. Saturday, March 29th. All right. And you can go to pcsbootcamplive.com. pcsbootcamplive.com. All right. And that's where you can go get your tickets. And tickets are going to be doubling this week, this Friday. So hurry up and go get your tickets. If you want to do VIP, do VIP. We got plenty of people that's doing VIP already. So I want to see you in the building. Hope y'all excited about this. It's gonna be a phenomenal situation. All right, let's go into the last point. And then point number three, right? I hear people that say, "Well, I don't have the time to brainstorm all this content. I'm busy. I'm doing this. I got jobs. I got the kids. I got to cook. I got to clean. I got to do this." Right? So they got a bunch of things they do, and they say, "Well, I just don't have the time to put out the content." So here's what you want to do. You don't need that, or you don't have to have time every day to do content. Your job is to do what we call batching your content. Batching your content means you you pick a day and you pick a time, and that is going to be the day that you create your content. If you do a good job at this, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to create a bunch of content for the week or for the 2 weeks. So then if you say, okay, listen, I got 3 hours, and you just spend this Saturday or this Sunday or this Friday afternoon or this Tuesday afternoon, whatever, and this is going to be the time you create your content, then you just create all your content for the week. I mean, at a minimum, you need one platform and post once a day on one platform at a minimum. And then with AI now and all of the technology, you can use that to take this transcripts and create posts and articles, and there's a bunch of great things that you can do. But at a minimum, you should be able you should say, okay, I'm gonna take 3 hours, and I'm gonna create 7 posts. Which, by the way, post is only what, 90 seconds, a minute to 90 seconds. So technically, it could take you up to 70 minutes to create posts, right? But you might want to come up with your ideas or whatever, right? So let's just give you 3 hours, plenty of time to create 7 posts, and then literally you have your 7 topics. You get in front of the camera and you do your thing. You know what I mean? So that's what you're going to do at a minimum. If you got 2 platforms that you're on, you're going to do your 2 platforms. If it's Instagram, and and it's YouTube, then you do a 20-minute YouTube video, and then you do 7 things, right? Or if you say, you know what, I want to do 2 videos on Instagram a day, and then I want to do a YouTube video once a week. Okay, great. So then you have your YouTube video, you have your topic, and then you do your thing. Okay, cool. That's going to be 20 to 30 minutes, and then you have your 14 videos for Instagram, for example. So then now you create your 14 reels, right? And let's just say let's just say it takes you 14. Well, let's just say it might take you an hour to do that. So let's say it takes you an hour to do the YouTube, and then it takes you an hour to do the reels. Boom, 2 hours a week. You got your whole week's worth of content that you knocked out in 2 hours. So, and that's the 2 hours that you know that you had, and that's much more. That's much better for you to be consistent with than saying, "Damn, I got to find an hour every day to do content," and you know every day is not going to be the same. So it's much better to pick the time that you know you're going to have time to create the content versus trying to have the time to squeeze, figure out where you're going to squeeze it in throughout your day, and then realizing that some days you're going to be able to do it and some days you're not. Emergencies and other things are going to happen. All right. So hopefully this was helpful today. Like I said, these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about at the PCS boot camp. So I'm hoping you're excited about that. Um, Go follow these strategies. These strategies work. I'm telling you for a fact. These are the strategies that I follow. These are the strategies that our clients are following. And one of the biggest reasons you even want to do content is for what we call lead nurturing. You want to be able to nurture the people that come in, nurture the people that are learning from you, because these are the people that's going to continue to tap in with you when they need to find out, when they need the solutions to these things. All right. With that being said, if you want to learn more about this, or if you have questions, I want to see you register at the PCS Bootcamp. So just go to pcsbootcamplive.com, pcsbootcamplive.com, and I'll see you in the building. All right. Saturday, March 29th. And always remember this: slow motion is better than no motion. Let's pray.